for those that haven't been here in 2016, what is it that we actually do? What is BIOTS, right? So what does it stand for, and what is our ambition with the program? So just to give a brief interview where I'm coming from, I'm an electronic engineer. I started very early, just took things apart and built them back together. Sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't. But I think that's the whole point, right? You try and you learn by doing things. I came 2011 across blockchain in the form of Bitcoin. And I was very interested in how it worked. So I started building a miner. And it continued. I built a second one, a third one, a fourth one, until at some point my girlfriend wanted to use the Hoover and electricity went out. So I actually absorbed all the possible power that I had in my apartment at this time. Then in 2012, actually, I was still very fascinated by the technology, how this whole works, and that I can make something at financial value out of nothing, out of pure computational power. So what did I do? I actually created a mining company. And by the time from 2012 to 2014, I was running one of the biggest mining companies in Europe, in Switzerland, which is interesting considering the prices for electricity. 2014, I'm not an investor, I'm an engineer, so I was only interested in the tech. I stopped this whole thing because of various reasons in the investment field of Bitcoin and so on, and then I decided to look at the technology. What can you do with it? It was nothing really you could do in 2014. Bitcoin blockchain wasn't really there. It was not able to build, computational systems on top of it. We had to wait for Ethereum to come along, obviously not knowing that this is going to happen, but then in 2015 it did happen, and we had complete different possibilities. That's when I started with Dr. Sebastian Bürgel, the speaker after me, Validity Labs, where we basically wanted to explore what you can do with all these technologies. And I'm a very impatient person, so things don't usually go as fast as I wish for, specifically in achieving things. And so 2016, I decided I have to push this whole thing a bit more, and that's when I came up with the idea of BIOTS. Why not just go to the universities and schools, go to the actual sources that are going to be our future engineers, and give them all the tools in their hand that potentially can make a difference or a change. And let them just play with it, and potentially, as I said, come up with parts that can have a huge impact. So that's when we started doing it, and it was interesting. We had a week like this week. We had only 65 people. We limited very small, and it was really amazing what came out of it. After that 1 week, I had requests from MIT, from HKUST, from UCL, from many other universities around the world. They said, this is amazing. We want to do the same thing. So there's a demand. Already in 2016, academics actually saw that there is a shift coming, and we need to put more of these technologies in the hand of students and work with it. And since then, a lot of things has happened. We have many working groups, many organizations that came since on the planet and doing something around the space. So we continue with BIOTS. The idea is to also create a platform. We haven't it ready yet, but it will come at some point. This year you will see the first beta version of it. It's a platform where all of the students can actually come from any university who have learned something around the space or want to learn something about the space and can use this, where you can collaborate. And this is something which is very important for us because one part which I emphasize is education has to be free and accessible for everybody on this planet. We have invited, I think, 40 international students, 25-ish came. We want this to be more. We want to have lots of students from all around the world to come and actually have the opportunity to learn something from other people, collaborate. And I think we heard it this morning also, collaboration is very, very important because only working together, you're going to be achieve much, much more, And so the platform that we want to build will actually give you the possibility to collaborate with each other and to potentially build something in the future. Who knows what? The only thing that we're going to do and what we're trying to do is we find a group of individuals, of teachers, that will come together and for no cost, so this is something very important to understand, None of the teachers coming here gets paid for anything. This is a complete non-for-profit event. It's all free for students. We try as much as possible. Obviously, we are reliant on our fantastic sponsors. They're helping us doing that and achieving that. But the point is, even the teachers coming here and they spend their time, they're flying in from wherever they come and share the knowledge. And I think this is the real important part about it, that we can sustain this over the years, have many more of these people come and help you to learn about these technologies, see the potential of it, and then decide for yourself. And potentially, who knows, maybe one of you or somebody who learns something in the future will be the next Vitalik Buterin. We don't know, right? It's all a possibility and opportunities. So with that, I'm going to hand over now to my co-founder, Dr. Sebastian Bürgel. He is also an electronic engineer. He did his postdoc here at ETH Zurich in biotech. And he's going to give you now an introduction into the Ethereum stack. So what is blockchain, what is Ethereum, what is smart contracts. And then after lunch, after you get a little break, hopefully get some energy, and then he's going to give you more of a hands-on coding session, which you can follow, how to program smart contracts, which then is going to be following tomorrow again, where he's basically then introducing to you more like how to enable web with blockchain. So he is mainly focusing on the Ethereum blockchain, which tomorrow in the main room here you will have, I think most of it will be Ethereum based, with the exception of the AI talks they're going to come. Right, let him go and set up for a second.